This is the Fantasy Waiver, and you're listening to the Booty League Podcast.
Yo, what's up, guys? Week 8 of the Booty League podcast. We're joined by Royce, and as always, Chris. How you guys doing this week?
Doing good, doing better.
Doing good. Just got off a win this week, much needed. After making some boneheaded plays. How'd you guys do this past week,
Um,
David?
uh, just waiting for CMC. Mid-season's in full and I feel like these bye weeks are cucking me because my roster is just already depleted.
Yeah,
So,
you have it. You definitely have it rough.
what about you, Royce?
I mean, the L I took this week didn't hit me as hard because I was down James Robinson, and after Michael made that trade, I didn't think that I was gonna win anyways,
Damn, dude.
So
He got you
so I'm okay
morally.
with
He
that.
got you.
Yeah,
He's got you
me
He
down
got you
morally.
mentally
bad.
before that. Excuse me.
I mean, playing Ayuk, dude, with 1.4, you could have
Yeah,
gone with an upside play there. I feel like
nah,
I thought I had the read.
yeah, that's
Ayuk
a
stinks.
rough
Yeah,
week.
he's
All right.
bad, dude.
I'm so sorry, dude. I thought I would have kept him too. Oh my God. Woo, thank you.
You
All right,
dodged a bullet, dude.
I know, dude. Holy. All right, jumping into the breaking news waiver wire segment for this week. We got 19 transactions on Tuesday, 6 more Wednesday night. Some more contested slash higher bidding ones. I know the bidding's going down as the year goes
We're
on.
broke, dude.
Dude, Timmy's about to drop his freaking 97 fab Damian Williams right now anyway, so that guy's useless behind Khalil Herbert. You got Brendan Bolden today for 14 fab. Next was 6 by Nick, 3-2. Joe Burrow to Timmy for 13 fab. The next closest bids were 11, 10, and 7. Boston Scott to David for 12. The next closest bids were 1. Robert Tunyon to Nick for 11. Next closest bids were 2. Jarvis Landry to James for 10. Next closest bid was 1 and 0. Randall Cobb to Nick for 5. The next two bids were 0. MVS to Timmy for 1. There was like 3 or 4 bets. And even Evan McPherson to Royce for 2. And that was a 3 out of between 3 bids. So a lot of people just way outbidding the rest of the competition. You put a lot of names up there for yourself, David. What happened? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I have Latavius on a bye this week, so I needed a running back, and these were the only names available. I feel like Brandon Bolden might take up that James White type role.
Hmm.
Not saying he's as good as James White, but we've seen um, James White do well in the Belichick system as a low end RB2, so I'm hoping that Brandon Bolden can kind of mimic what James White did for the team.
Okay.
Which is, and I'm like, I think everybody's benches are like pretty decent that they don't want to
Hold him.
drop anybody. So
Yeah.
I did overbid, but I didn't want to find out.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I,
absolutely. You get your guy. I mean, you needed him. You got your guy. Um, how did your waiver wire go this week, Roy?
Yeah, so I had to play a little bit of QB roulette with you. But I ended up getting, Carson Wentz. I can't be mad about Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Has a good floor. I really did want Burrow, but I did forget that like other people were in a market for a QB to plug
Mhm.
in. So like my tiers were I wanted Burrow, then Kirk Cousins, and then Carson Wentz and Terry Bridgewater, right? And I ended up getting, my third choice. No thanks to you, Chris, but yeah. Um, I also got David Johnson for 0 fab. I feel like it's a steal before we heard about that Mark Ingram news. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty happy with my pickups this week.
Why? So, was there any method to your madness for David Johnson, or?
I liked the targets he was getting. It's not a lot, but it's kind of consistent how many targets he gets. He doesn't get as many carries, but like I just wanted to take a shot at him, see what it would be like to
wow,
have him on my bench for a couple weeks.
interesting.
Okay.
Zero. That's why I put 0 fab. It's like he was like
Yeah.
I had like 10 waivers lined up, and David Johnson was like second to last, and I ended up getting him. So
Okay.
can't complain.
Okay.
Okay.
I did look into your matchup into your week and Justin Tucker. I had a feeling you're gonna want to keep both. So Kirk Cousins was on bye, so I think I got him pretty late. And then I knew Joe. I kind of wanted Joe Burrow for myself, but if it didn't work, Jalen Hurts. Then I didn't know who you wanted next. I didn't know if you were ballsy enough for Daniel Jones. I didn't know if you really trusted Teddy Bridgewater's outlook and the Carson Wentz stuff too. So yeah, I ordered it. Daniel
You
Jones,
you only have so many
Carson
roster
Wentz.
spots.
Yeah. I was gonna hold them all too. I had all the bids in for that. I was gonna hold them, drop a kicker for them.
Oh, you had
Uh,
you were ready to hold like 3
yeah,
QBs?
5 quarterbacks.
5 QBs? You're
Yeah,
a mad
I
fan.
was ready to hold Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow if I need to, but he went away, right? Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater, and Daniel Jones. So
You would
that's
have
5
dropped.
QBs without Joe Burrow.
So you would have dropped everyone except for what is this guy? Something Jamal Williams?
So no kicker. I wouldn't have had a
Oh,
kicker.
no
Oh my
kicker. I
god.
see.
Yeah, and then I would have had
No
so I would have
Dearness, I'm
Teddy, and
guessing.
then I would have had I would have Teddy, and then um, I would have no kicker. And I would have been perfect.
Then I would have had Heineke, dude, or some shit.
Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to pigeonhole you a little
see.
bit, but it
Interesting.
worked out.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the fab. We'll jump into trades right
Oh, wait,
after.
real quick, you guys, coming from the Packers fan, call your shot MVS or Cobb or Tunyon.
Oh, okay. Or Tunyon. Oh, you put Tunyon in?
I mean, Arizona is #1 against tight ends, supposedly.
I know. Because I think their safety's good. I'm gonna go with Cobb.
Do
I
you
think
think
it's a Cobb week.
you think Aaron Rodgers gonna have one of those weeks where he just drops a dud, like 5 points or something, and he goes on an omega tilt?
It's possible because he doesn't have his his boy, and then is the game away or at home? I'm not sure there. Do you
I
guys
think
know?
it's at Arizona, but
So yeah, and then it's away too. We don't travel well, like at least to the West Coast, but that's on Sunday. So at least I think that's like a California thing. So I'm not sure.
okay. Yeah, heading into the next segment, shot bets. Chris, take it away.
We got heads. We just my bad. I didn't. So Jonathan and Nick owed one at the party. I don't know if they did.
No, that was strictly for pleasure at the party.
If you owe for James for victims, you can deal with him. You can send a video to the Booty League or however. And then David has one for the head to head. I forgot to do them this week. And then we have a video, right? So
Yeah,
Michael
we have a video.
owes 6 now. Vin had 4. And then
If
now
Michael doesn't pay the shots at the end of the year, does he get disqualified from the playoffs if he makes it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Or he has to pay. All shots must be paid before the playoffs.
Okay. Well, we can make a poll or something and see what everyone else has punishments. But yeah, this is ridiculous, Michael. Like you need to pay your shots.
Yeah, come on, Michael.
Okay.
So and then James and Roy owe shotguns because they cheated us out of a Jeopardy win, right, Nick? They cheated us.
I would say they earned it. I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it, but yeah, everybody agreed. So I don't know what was going on there.
All right, so let's do it. Let's go ahead and take your drinks. We got David one shot on the pod, Royce a shot, and then we got a video.
Let me get a towel down here.
The more I drink this, the worse it tastes.
It's good. You don't like it? I think
It's good,
decent.
but
you don't like darks, right?
I don't like darks, and it was good the first time, but now that was for pleasure. Now it's for punishment, so it doesn't have that same effect.
I'm gonna drink for pleasure, so I got a whiskey. I'm gonna drink with you guys. But I'm not cheating.
Oh, it's spraying! I just combed.
Oh wait, what?
We missed it.
Oh.
I hope it. Oh man,
Here, let me put Royce in the full screen.
Oh, he's too low.
Oh, right here. Why is he so low?
Yeah, it's a little low.
Look at his lips, dude. Look how fat his lips were, dude. Did you see that, Chris?
I didn't see that.
More surface area.
That's so.
Oh man.
If y'all ever wondered what it looks like on Jen's receiving end, it don't look good. That's for sure. All right.
Good thing her eyes are closed.
The lights are off and our eyes are closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks
I
for
can
being
never
a
get
good
it right.
sport.
It always sprays. Whenever I do a shotgun.
All right, and then let's get into our video.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. God
Let
bless
me
you.
share my screen with you guys really quickly.
May the
So this
booty
is
be in your
Vin's.
favor.
This is Vin's video. Never before seen.
Oh, I mean, I saw it live.
I know, so a couple of you guys got to see it live. So was this for pleasure? Should this one even count?
No, it's not for pleasure because Vin was already pretty good, and then someone goes, "Yo, you need to pay out,"
Yeah.
and we lined it up for him. So it's definitely not for pleasure, dude.
Alright.
Dude was.
Oh, we have a
after.
bonus Vin video too.
I like how your desktop is all new videos.
Yeah, over in the corner over there.
Holy shit, wrong bit. Yeah. Alright, everybody see this?
Yeah. What was it?
I think it was the Costco vodka.
Costco vodka, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, Vin went as fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
It's pretty
That's his
good.
costume.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that one.
That one. What
You got the elite manager in the back.
Ew.
You got the commish. Had a baby.
Alright.
Had
And here's a
baby.
bonus pod or bonus video right here. This is moments later, dude. Look at the eyes, dude. Jesus.
Oh man.
He rallied though. He rallied.
I don't even think it was that late, you know?
Oh man. If y'all weren't there, you need to pull that up, guys. You need to watch that. All right. So, thank you, Vin, for doing that. You're done with your 4 shots, and
But
then
now he owes an additional one, right?
for what?
It says Vin 1 right here.
Oh no. That was just
I
that's
see.
the whole line. Yeah. So
Okay.
he's good. He's good. All right. We're jumping to a lot of action this past week. Right when we finished recording, Ty made a trade because he was running out for last week. So Ty receives Devontae Freeman. Jonathan receives 8 fab. David, what are your thoughts on this since you lost Latavius last week?
Jonathan actually offered this trade to me first, and I said, wait until Sunday morning until I find out Tyson. Royce just gave us a smoke screen. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh shit, my bad.
But I said, can you wait until Sunday so I can find out about Tyson, because I mean he's the best runner, right? And there's an opportunity, and it's been, I don't know, like 4 or 5 weeks since I guess he missed the blocks, the doghouse. So I thought they'd give him a shot. They didn't, but Jonathan gave me like an hour, and he said he'd wait, and then but he sent it to Ty, and then Ty just insta accepted. They didn't even talk. He just inboxed him the trade, and then Ty just accepted the trade, and so there's that. But Ty did need the running back for the bye week.
Yeah. Honestly, it didn't help anyways.
It didn't help, and it wouldn't have helped me either. So
Yeah.
it was a good move by Ty. In hindsight, it didn't help. But for Jonathan, I would say a B- because he could really use that depth right about now because of Miles Sanders. But yeah, what about you guys?
Royce, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that, I mean, Ty gives out eight fab for a plug and play. especially with bye weeks. And Jonathan frees up space on his roster. I feel like he's not as strapped with the Miles Sanders injury because he still has Michael Carter, who's taken over the backfield kind of.
Yeah, and Najee was
So
on
he's
bye. So
yeah.
he gets
Najee was on a bye too. So yeah, exactly. So I don't think he's lacking any depth in running back even after that.
Mhm.
So yeah, good trades for both.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I would give it A and A for both.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Okay. Following that, when was this trade made, Roy?
I think it was made on
Monday?
Monday. Yeah,
Monday,
Monday because
yeah.
I was getting ready to go to Disneyland.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this
Oh
one was
wait, I think Royce had something he wanted to say, so we'll keep him for last, right? Yeah.
we'll
What do you
keep it
think
last.
about it, Chris?
So James receives Chase Edmonds, Dalton Schultz, and Devontae Smith. Royce receives Antonio Gibson and Hunter Henry. My thoughts are that I think it's a great play for James if he wants to get off this Antonio Gibson injury news.
He was
and
on it
scare.
for 1 week, and he said
I
no
know,
more.
but you got his 6 points. He's all right, dude. I'm out. Hey. We're gonna part ways now. But James also gets tight end help losing Knox. I think Dalton Schultz is gonna do well. He also gets. I mean, Smith looks good, but the offense just sucks. So I'm not sure how much is there. However, I think Chase has so much more of a ceiling because he hasn't scored a touchdown yet. Maybe outside of one. Um, and yeah, if he scores a touchdown, he's in the conversation. Even without scoring a touchdown, he's the running back 20 on the year. No bye weeks. But if you know what, if Royce gets the running back one that Antonio Gibson's supposed to be, then I think he wins. But otherwise, it's a risky move for Royce due to injury. And then Henry isn't much of a piece because Royce has Kyle Pitts. So those are my thoughts. David, what do you think?
Um, yeah, I think Chase is a pretty good low end RB2, and I don't think James is as optimistic about Gibson as Royce is. So James, I give an A because he got out from that Antonio Gibson fiasco. And he got Chase Edmonds, which is an RB2, and Devontae Smith, who right now is a wide receiver 3. But I would give him like top or 18 wide receiver 18 upside, maybe even 15.
Okay,
Actually, not 15, maybe 18.
that's pretty high.
Yeah, 15 is pretty high. I say maybe 18 and below. He hasn't been performing that well, but so it's an RB2 and a wide receiver 2 plus a tight end for a Gibson who right now his perception is a when he's hurt is a low end RB2 with RB1 upside if he's healthy, but the thing is you can't get healthy if you keep playing.
Mhm.
So, Royce took a big risk, so I give him a C plus, but in a few weeks if that stress fracture turns out to heal, I give Royce an A because Gibson is that good. He is a RB1 talent. The injuries might just hold him back. So C plus for Royce because he's taking a lot of risk.
And yeah, it's subjective, but I grade it the same way as David. Probably C plus B minus for Royce, because he is 2 and 5, and I don't know if he needed that kind of risk, but and an A for James. So, but we'll see. We'll come back. So it'll be a trade. Royce, your
Yeah.
thoughts are the process and all that.
Yeah, so obviously I had Dalton Schultz sitting on my bench coming up on a bye week where I wanted to keep both my players, Justin Tucker and Lamar Jackson. So I obviously needed to make a move to free up bench space. So I was shopping around Schultz, but the offers I got back was like, I'll give you Fab for Schultz or something. And I was like, no, I'm trying to package him with something to get like less players in return, like somewhat higher ceiling players so that I can just have them on my bench because I feel like my lineup's like it's good at running back. I'm just trying to plan for when Derrick Henry goes on by because he's like the crutch I've been leaning on all season. So I was like, all right, well, I mean, and James has a plethora of running backs. Antonio Gibson's probably the one he's the lowest on. And I was talking to him back and forth. I was trying to get Robert Woods off his hands by packaging a bunch of players that involve Devontae Smith and Dalton Schultz. But in the end, he wanted Chase Edmonds, so I was like, well, I only have 3 running backs. Obviously, I'd try to get a running back in return. So I'll throw in Devonta Smith, and I'll get Antonio Gibson from you. And I do like Antonio Gibson's rest of season schedule, and he does have that bye coming up, which like I really like because he gets time off of that stress fracture, and there's a chance he'll bounce back. And for me, Devonta Smith, like I'm gonna freaking like gouge my eyes out if I have to watch Jalen Hurts freaking throw the ball again, right?
I tell you, turn off the TV until the
Just
fourth
turn
quarter.
off the TV. Don't even watch Eagles games, dude.
Yeah.
You just turn on the box score, and I'm like, oh, I'm chilling, dude. 21
Yeah.
points, whatever.
Yeah, and like Chase Edmonds has a really good floor. He's like a 10 to 12 point floor kind of player. And that's without touchdowns, obviously. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Why is this
getting
guy
rid of him
talking
hurts.
up Chase Edmonds?
No, like I'm just saying like getting rid of him hurts, but like that just shows how
I
much
see.
higher I am on Gibson, like given that he's
Mm.
healthy, and I am banking that he's
On the
healthy. And
health. Okay.
So yeah.
So honestly, it's something we're gonna have to look back because if he's healthy, I think Royce wins straight up, right? But if he's not healthy, then that's just a risk you assumed in trying to.
Yeah,
But then again, like you're building your team for the booty, right? If you're not building the team to win the booty, then why try? Like, what are you doing? You know, like, you
yeah,
gotta get in
true.
the
It's
dance.
not like we have like a third or a third, fourth, fifth place cash prize or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But I
Just-
do piggybacking off of the bye week healing. I agree with he could heal off the bye week, but the thing is he has Denver, which is a rough matchup. Then he has his bye. Then he has Tampa Bay, which is a pretty stout run defense, and then he has Carolina, which is pretty at Carolina. So he wouldn't be usable for maybe 4 weeks, and I'm not sure if you're in the playoffs in 4 weeks. So it'll be hard. It'll be hard. It'll be a play for the booty, but you have to get
keep
there
it.
first.
All right. Jumping into our next trade. Ty receives Jacoby Myers and David receives Sony Michelle and 5 Fab. Let's start with Royce here, and then David can last.
Yeah, so it's a good trade. I mean, David needed healthy running backs to plug and play, and like
Oh, we'll just skip one. Let's start here first, and we'll come back. My
okay,
bad.
yeah, and then and I mean, David likes holding Timmy's handcuffs, so yeah, it goes off for him.
It's a
And
win-win.
Ty,
Is what
yeah,
you're
exactly.
saying.
And I mean, Ty came to me and he was trying to shop Sony too. So he needed someone to replace Marquise Brown since Marquise Brown's on bye,
Mhm.
and it works out. I mean, who was it? It was Jacoby Myers, not Nikhil Harry. Jacoby Myers is, I mean, he's not bad. I mean, he's serviceable for this week. So I mean, it's a win for both, a for both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's David needs some high upside hits, um, hurting at the running back position. So instead of it isn't going to use Jacoby Myers because his other receivers are off their bye except Mike Evans. So he has Jacoby Myers is kind of in the same tier as his other receivers. So he gives him up for a higher upside running back. Thoughts, David?
Yeah, it also helps that the fact that Sony Michelle is a Ram, and and I think Ty knows that I'm a Rams homer, right? So,
Mhm.
but all jokes aside, Darrell Henderson is prone to getting injured. I'm not wishing an injury on him because he's my boy. I'm just saying
Yeah.
he gets injured a lot, and Sony, with whatever limited work he has, I think he's pretty good in the Rams offense, and he just needs a shot. And so I think what I need right now is as many lottery tickets as I can get,
Mhm.
because even if I don't make the playoffs, I still need to survive the toilet.
True.
So I mean it's like a no-brainer. Jacoby's like never gonna play for me. So I might as well just buy a lottery ticket.
Okay. AA all arounds. Building off that last trade with James, David Royce flips his Hunter Henry to David and gets 10 fab back. So David receives Hunter Henry, Royce receives 10 fab. Since you guys both are part of this trade, I'll talk. Great move for both teams, in my opinion. I think Hunter Henry should do well while Johnny was out. We'll see what Henry can provide in the meanwhile. But even though I'm not sure if if David would have paid 10 fab for Hunter Henry if he was on the waivers. But so Royce, optimized his, the amount of fab he could have gotten from it. So I think an A for both teams. Let's start with the person receiving Fab first. Let's go with Royce. Go ahead.
Yeah. So me and David during the whole James trade, me and David were talking about a possible trade involving Dalton Schultz and Devonta Smith, but James pulled the trigger first, so
No,
I went with
I
him.
was at work. I was like
Hey, you
working,
snooze, you lose.
and this guys are working from home. He's like, like got Facebook up, got like a sleeper up, and he's like scheming, and I'm like doing work, and so I shoot Royce the trade, and I'm like,
You know,
Royce,
you don't want fantasy. That's all. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All I hear is David's
No,
excuses. Excuses. I don't
no,
want
it's
them more
because he
than that.
replies late, right? So
Yeah.
I shoot him a trade, and then he replies like later, but then I'm like in mid work, and then he shoots me another message like, "Never mind, I traded with James like an hour later," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever, it's fine." It's like it's just Hunter Henry, like whatever, or it's Dalton
It's Dalton
Schultz.
Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
For
then when I got so James was like, "All right, do you want any players in return? Because I'm dropping, I think it was Carlson and um and Hunter Henry." And I was like, "All right, just give me Hunter Henry. I know David needs a tight end. Maybe I could flip him for some fab or something." So that's when I messaged David and I was like, "Yo, I have Hunter Henry. You
Very
want Hunter
nice.
Henry?" And he's like, "I'll give you 10 fab." I was like, "All right, sure."
Beautiful.
I see. But I mean, the deal was Brandon Cooks plus Devonta, or Brandon Cooks for Devonta plus Schultz, which is
Ooh, that's pretty spicy.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's okay, right? But it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
really move the needle for anybody.
Yeah, I think Royce likes his trade with James better. So yeah, I got A's for both you guys. Grades for that one.
I would say a B for me. I mean, I feel like I paid a little bit too much for
Mhm.
Hunter Henry, but I mean, it's like 2 to 3 fab more, so whatever.
yeah. I give A for David, A for me because fab doesn't really matter. It's a social
Yeah,
construct.
fab
It's
is
a
a
number.
social
It's just a number on
construct.
sleeper, dude.
Ugh.
All right, jumping into our quick game for this week.
No. We got a matter.
Oh,
Me and
oh
you
shoot.
have bit.
Okay.
So breaking news, everybody. Me and
Oh
He
Chris
yeah.
accepts it.
are mid. No, we haven't accept. Let me
Oh,
just.
okay.
I'll
Go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing.
let me. This is the first time in show history. I hope everybody's tuning in right now. All right. So the first time me and Chris have a trade going on right here. This happened pre-show, minutes before we started recording, right? And so Chris here shot me a blockbuster deal.
Shockwaves, as
Shockwave,
Jonathan
like
would say.
actual shockwaves, all right? And Royce doesn't know what the trade is yet. So
Yeah.
Royce will be a neutral third party. I have the trade up right here with my finger on accept button, right? All right. So Royce, here's the trade, all right? You talk me
Alright.
through. You talk me off this ledge or you help me make the plunge.
Okay,
All
we
right?
got a trader. I like this.
All right? So I give up Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Hunter Henry. So let's just say 10 fab. And Chris gets, or I get Travis Kelsey, Calvin Ridley, and Elijah Michelle. So it's Kelsey, Ridley, Mitchell.
Mitchell. Bless you.
Bless you.
For Mike Evans, CMC, and Kittle. What do you think?
So just some ideas. I cooked it up because David and I, our weekly conversation about. All right, we'll talk next week. Right? It's been ending like
Yeah,
that.
you cut out a little bit, but
Oh,
I think go ahead, say it again.
oh yeah. So I was like, David and I have our weekly text about the podcast and then a weekly trade. Like, hey, what are you considering? This and that. And then so we cooked up something small, and I was like, you know what? I had some time. I had an off period, so I just cooked up this big trade, just thinking about it, just spitballing, right? And then I was like, you know what? I think David's in a win now. I'm 4-3. I'm in an okay position. If I was in like a 2 or 1 loss, this might be in a better position for me. But that's why it's even risky for me. But I put it up because so we can have some content here. So what are your thoughts here?
I
Yeah, I'll pull it
I
up.
like I like it. I mean, David's trading away like he needs to buy wins now.
Mhm.
And he's trading away two guys that are basically injured and taking up spots on his roster for like play now guys, which definitely makes his team stronger. he does lose who was it? Let me see again.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, which is a big thing, but I mean he still has serviceable receivers. I did hear earlier you guys were talking about Diggs too, and Chris couldn't do it.
Chris couldn't make the
Couldn't do it,
pledge.
dude.
Yeah. So
Couldn't
I
do
mean, dude, this is very spicy. I mean, if you could run back,
It's
to tape,
hard.
saw
It's
my
like
reaction as he's listing off the players. I was like, what?
it's like when people talk about spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars on like luxury things, like my mind can't even compute like that value is too high. Who wins?
Yeah.
Like the value is too much. Who wins? I have no idea. Like $50,000 on a rollie, $3,000 on a dress. My mind can't even compute right now. That's kind of what I'm feeling like. All right.
Yeah, I like the trade.
All right, let me talk through it real quick. Travis Kelce, I'm playing now. All right, let me just talk. Travis Kelce, stud. Ridley,
Yes, sir.
stud. Elijah
sir.
Michelle. Let's skip that one for now. Mike Evans, stud. CMC, stud. Kittle, stud. So,
Dude, kidding.
I am in a win now mode, and I think this might move the needle this week against Ski. So, for the first time ever on the pod, I think I will accept this offer.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I think, oof. I mean, if
Take
we're
another
not
shot.
playing for the booty, what are we playing for, right? Because I think I need a win this week.
Yeah, you ain't wrong,
Yeah.
dude.
So,
All you
right-
gotta do is get in the
all
dance.
right,
dude.
there you go.
Oh,
There
I
you
just
go.
saw it
For
pop
the
up.
first time ever, a live co-host trade on the pod.
Holy, dude.
What
Wow,
did we
that's
do?
spicy. Dude, this podcast isn't good for us, dude.
What did I do, dude?
Dude, I don't know what I did, dude.
Wh-
Part of it is I'm scared because I don't know in McCaffrey situation. Like I like the upside, but like same thing, right? I gotta
Thing
get
is,
in
he's
the
a
game.
week away, which it makes me scared.
But
Right.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
and like I was telling David, like just hamstrings bother me because I've had like a bad hamstring injury before.
Of course, Timmy.
Of course, Timmy, dude. Of course. Timmy with the live react, dude. Timmy.
So yeah, like I was saying, you know, I think hamstrings are scary because it's one of those things where like, so I pulled my hamstring in football, and like 2 weeks later, I feel like 1 week to 2 weeks later, I'm chilling, I'm feeling good, and then I go to deadlift like pretty heavy, and I'm feeling good, I hit, and it just pulls again.
Mhm.
So that's why I think what that happened with CMC. That's why he went on IR. Practice during those 2 weeks. Probably went too hard on a Wednesday practice. Didn't practice Thursday, and he got put on IR. So it's kind of spoopy to me. So
I mean,
but
yeah,
We'll
you are
see.
taking a lot of risk by picking up CMC.
Only father time will tell.
dude,
Yeah.
we might go back to both these trades and be like,
Someone got bodied or something. It's
Yeah.
too hard to tell
yeah, right now.
right now.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, dude, my heart.
Gambling, dude.
All right,
very mixed reactions coming from the chat.
All right, for time purposes, David, do we want to do this game? I think we're like
We're
40
running at 30 minutes right now. 33.
We got the week recap and the other predictions. So that's like 30 minutes. You want to?
Yeah, how about we do one each? One
Okay,
good
let's do
one
one
each. So our game for
Okay.
today is, believe it or not, we each came with 3, but for time's sake, we'll each just do one each.
Wait, we had a lot of. Hey, thank you for giving us some. Cause we had a lot of trades to talk about and
Yeah.
waiver stuff.
So I guess I'll start first. Alright, this one's probably the best one. Believe it or not, James is actually average, if not below average, with pickups.
He talked a lot of game.
The week one.
Yo,
Week
James
one.
ain't shit at pickups.
I can't believe I give this guy money every time he goes. James, here's a bill, dude. Do whatever you want with it.
yeah. This guy's straight doo-doo. So
James has won me a lot of money before, so that's why I believe in him. But maybe it's college basketball and
Hot
not
hand fallacy, bro.
right, and not the NFL.
All right, so believe it.
Oh man, I don't believe it.
I believe it.
He believes it. All
Prove
right.
me wrong,
all right.
James.
I
Oh,
also
okay.
believe that James is average, if not below
All right.
average.
All right, you
in
ready for mine
pickups.
one? Let's see. Mine's pretty spicy. All right, good one, spicy one. All right, believe it or not, Michael is currently the best fantasy manager this year. With his
Hmm.
trades and his pickups and like his ability to like, yeah, he started off with a shitty team, but he's been scheming, maneuvering, and now he's won maybe 4 out of the last 3, if not 4 out of the last 5, and not 4 straight.
Yeah, I believe it because I mean that especially that trade he made last week when he was playing against me that caught me off guard a lot and it was like a great move. And I mean we all railed him for the Andrews Gibson trade, but look how that turned out, you know.
Mm.
So I do think he's like so far with all the moves he's done, he might be the best like manager so far. Like he's up there with Jonathan. I feel like Jonathan's always scheming,
Yeah.
and he's like at that Jonathan level of scheming and trying to make trades that we like can't see at the time until like later.
Yeah, he was good. I just don't know about um his latest trade for Aaron Jones. I kind of like Najee more,
Mhm.
but I only time will tell. I mean, it's just apples to apples. They're both pretty good, so
Yeah.
I believe it. He has made a pretty big leap in his management,
Oh yeah.
but
So yeah,
yeah. So
thoughts on that? Believe it or not?
I
All right.
believe it.
Hmm.
Only because I don't know anybody else that made a lot of moves besides Jonathan.
Royce, thoughts?
All right, for mine, oh, I believe it.
Okay.
And for mine, pretty generic, but believe it or not, does Yi have the strongest roster in the league? Like in the playoffs, like that's the team you don't want to face.
No cap, dude. That's this team I do not want to face.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
am
slay him right now,
scared.
right here this week, man. I'm
I hope
taking
so,
him
dude.
down, dude.
I'm gonna start trading with every player that Yi plays, dude. Let's get you some wins.
All right.
I believe it though.
Yeah.
I believe he has the strongest roster.
Yeah, he has
He,
a pretty
like
good roster.
all his like he has keepers and then all his draft picks hit, right? Like
Yeah.
Jamar
It's
Chase
so
hit.
no, but this
Like
happens every year,
yeah.
right? He like always drafts like the dumbest, like is this guy really gonna hit? And then he hits, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who's giving this guy insider info, dude? Like,
All right, so that's our one really believe it or not each. Let's jump into the week recap and the power rankings. Marcus takes the match over Jonathan. I think after that trade was big for him, losing in the week. Um, I take the dub over Tides. Had all the teams on bye. Ben took it shows Yi who's on high. Michael takes the dub over Royce, close game. And then Nick beats David handedly. I don't think David could have done anything to get a dub. And then Timmy barely beats James, I think, by 6 points. So David got 3 out of 6 right, bringing his running total to 62%. I got 4 out of 6 right, bringing my running total up 7%. The guest is still at 61% because we had no guest for the predictions last week. Thoughts on the games, David?
yeah, almost every like 5 out of the 6 matchups last week were pretty lopsided. Nobody thought it was possible, but Vin got the dub over. I mean, I kind of warned this. I mean, like this is the week to beat me, and the Brother Bowl is always action packed every year.
You're right.
I think Vin stands up for the Brother Bowl every year. So that was pretty good. And Vin's getting the dirtiest dubs of all. I don't think any of his dubs, except for this last week,
This week he
got
scored the second highest on the week, so
yeah,
Yeah.
his team showed up. But
yeah.
yeah, he has been getting dirty wins besides this week
Yeah,
for sure.
besides this week for sure. So, yeah, we'll see if Vin can keep it rolling.
How are you feeling after this week, Royce?
Uh,
Or any thoughts on any of the games? Your game?
yeah, for my game, I mean, there was no way I was gonna win after that trade, so yeah, it is what it is. Savor it, Michael. I hope you're happy.
I mean, it's Derrick Henry has been popping up. He's 25, right, for you,
Yeah.
and he had 16, right? You
Yeah.
can't be mad at it,
The only
but
touchdown he had was a 20 through.
That's-
So I
yeah.
was like, yeah.
All right, we'll jump into the power rankings. So you
I'm
want to pull it up?
sorry, your running back scores touchdowns? Question mark.
Dude, you're running back at 16 for a floor? What?
Yeah, you're savage. But
We'll jump into the power rankings. Pull it up if you like to follow along. Just quick takes. Timmy takes the solo #1 spot. Nick jumps up to #2. Jonathan rounds out the #3 sliding down. Biggest risers are Nick from. All of these risers are up 2 spots. Nick from 4 to 2. Michael from 9 to 7, and Vincent from 12 to 10. Worst slide is Royce, down 3 spots from 5 to 8. What's surprising is that numbers 10, the power rank 10, 11, 12 all have a very close power ranking score. Separated by 0.14 points, 10.43 to 10.57. I thought that was crazy. So you can say they're far away like the worst because they
far
way
and away the worst.
they just pulled away. Right, you got James at 7.5.
Pulled away.
And you got 10 at the bottom. Um, 68 are all close as well in the low sixes for the PR score. And then Royce still has the best rest of the season roster as of right now, but is currently at 8 in the power rankings. Royce also has the overall wins, just as many overall wins as the top two, between Timmy and Nick at 51 overall wins, and he's still at 8. So that's my quick takes. Let's start with David. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on the power rankings for this week?
Surprising that I stayed at 11. I really thought I would have slid down to 12 first off. I don't know. I think Ty's team might have scored so little points last week that it just the points like the weight of the points just drew him down a little bit. Royce dipping from 5 to 8 is a little surprising, but also could be the points because he didn't have J Rob, but he should be back, so I think Royce should move back up. Nick moves into 2, which is pretty surprising considering he doesn't have Saquon or David Montgomery, but his wide receivers have been showing out, and his running backs, not last week, but the week before, have been showing up, his running back pickups. So his points per game is very good, so I think that factors into a lot of that. That's about it.
Yeah. So my thoughts is like, I mean, if you look at the graph alone, I dip and I rise a lot, and I think it's just because like, yeah, I have the best ROS and I'm pretty good with overall wins. It's just like every time I get a dub, I jump up like 3-4 spots. Every time I get an L, I jump down 3-4 spots. So like, it is what it is. I chalk that up to like the difficulty of the schedule starting out and unluckiness. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I thought it was pretty wild. A lot of jumps there, and I'm not sure necessarily reflects it. I think it is representing bye weeks though. I think bye weeks are coming up, and managers are gonna have to maneuver around all of that. Go ahead and lead us into our next section.
Yeah, so we have the matchups of the week. First matchup we have Chris versus Royce. Right here. So I guess I'll go first, and we'll have each of them explain their take. Let's see. So for quarterbacks, I have Chris, which actually this just mixed up everything. So
Yeah,
I think
this kind of messed us up.
quarterbacks, I guess I have Chris because Wentz isn't playing like he has like a 19-point floor, but Hurts is just better at getting that garbage time, so I have Hurts. For running backs, I would say Royce still, even more so this week because he has Derrick Henry and James Robinson. Wide receivers, I'm guessing is Mike Evans and Stephon Diggs. Mike Evans without Antonio Brown is trending up, but Gronk is coming back down, coming back this week. So we'll see his health status at the end of the week because he is a red zone hog. So I do have wide receivers going to Chris though. Tight ends I also have going to Chris. Oh wait.
Or had.
No,
He had
had.
Kittle, but I
this
guess
this messes everything up.
But now we have I guess I'll go Royce for this one. So is there I just do it all. Is there something I think it comes down to? I think it comes down to Gibson's health. If we get healthy Gibson, Royce will win like outright. If we have unhealthy Gibson, like maybe a 5-pointer, I think Chris might be able to pull it out. So if there's one thing I would change, it's that I would forget about the rest of the roster. I would go Marvin Jones versus Laviska 1v1 to decide it all.
Okay.
So, but overall, with the new trade,
I think I
I
just edited it if you need it.
have Royce winning. Why don't you explain? Why don't you go, Royce, and then Chris will
All right.
explain his counter.
Yeah. So quarterbacks, I got Chris. Running backs.
I just edited it if you need it.
Okay.
Switch it out real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Running backs, I have me. Obviously, wide receivers, I have Chris, and tight end, I have me. Yeah. Again, push position comes down to if Antonio Gibson can produce. It's up for debate. I mean, I'm down to play Laviska, so we'll see. If there's anything to change, I mean, not really. And I think I got the win this week.
I think I had a very good chance before my trade. This trade definitely hurts my chances, but I don't feel too bad. Um, yeah, I don't feel too bad. A little more scared. I would say the only position I really receiver, and then I do agree with the Gibson comments and the flex comments, but I'm still gonna keep myself going on this week. Okay, so jump into the next matchup. We got James versus groomsman versus groom to be
Oh, groom to be.
Yeah.
but that's on David's permission still. So I don't know if you gave him permission yet, David. I'll go first here. I got James at quarterback. I got running back James. I got wide receivers Michael, tight end James, and the flex James. Um, I think it's going to come down to Sanders versus Edmonds. I think those are the two flex positions and who gets the touchdowns. Because Sanders has been getting 1-2 touchdowns a game, and Edmonds, if he can get one, and Michael definitely needs some bigger hits with his running backs. Like Zach Moss needs to go off. Other than that, I do have just James kind of handily winning this. Royce?
Yeah. So quarterbacks, I have James. Running back, I have James. Wide receivers, I have Michael, and tight end, I have James, and flex, I have James as well. So yeah, I think it comes down to Chase Edmonds versus Zach Moss. Zach Moss posted a dud before his bye week, so if he can get back up to that like 10 to 13 point floor, then I think Michael will be in good shape. Chase Edmonds, yeah, if he gets a touchdown, that's the difference between like 12 and 18 points, right? So I think that's what it'll go down to. I wouldn't change anything on their rosters, I think. And I think James gets the win this week.
Right. Quarterbacks, I have James. Running backs, I actually have it pretty close just because of Aaron Jones' perceived increased usage. Wide
That's true.
receivers, I have Michael. Tight ends, I actually have pretty even. Dalton Schultz, I think Fryermuth, with Juju being out, will get an uptick in targets and red zone looks. Flex, I have even. I think what it comes down to is Aaron Rodgers without Devonta and Lazard. I think that'd be pretty interesting considering they're against Cardinals defense. So I don't know. MVS kind of sucks. And so I don't know how much Aaron Rodgers can get done against Cardinals. So that would be interesting. The only change I would make is for James is trying to take, if Claypool is healthy, I'd try to find a way to get him in. Maybe over Sutton or yeah, probably get him in over Sutton just because Claypool, if he's healthy, is just like a like too good of a player to leave out. He does have that upside. But overall, I do have James winning pretty easily over Michael.
Yeah, I'll got James pretty single-handedly. We got jumping into the next matchup. We got Vince, best game of the year. At second scoring, 120, high one. Let's go start with Royce. What do you got here for Vincent versus Marcus?
Yeah, for QBs, I actually have them pushing. I mean, Herbert, I love Herbert, but I mean, Matthew Stafford is still underrated, even though he's on the Rams. So I feel like he's gonna go off. Running backs, I have Marcus. Wide receivers, I have Marcus, and then tight end, I have Vin. So yeah, I think this goes down to Javonte Williams for Vin because he did look really good last week. But I think if Javonte can do really well, then Vin can stay pretty competitive. But other than that, like he needs like Gaskin to go off too and all that stuff. But Marcus's lineup is just really, really strong. So yeah.
Marcus.
With this, I have Marcus winning. Yeah.
All right. I only differ. I think Matthew Stafford's the better play this week. I don't think it's a push. Um, actually think wide receivers goes to Vin. I really like AJ Brown. Not looking forward to DK Metcalf. And I like the Judy coming back. Flex is gonna have to go to Marcus. Cordero Patterson's just been producing. They make plays around him. I think, and I think Gaskin's gonna get more of a workload. Malcolm Brown went on IR, and Chubb needs to come back, but Marcus does have a backup in Khalil Herbert if he wants to play Khalil Herbert somewhere in there instead. His team's pretty stacked, so to sit someone like Khalil Herbert is pretty crazy. I know he put him on the trading block for any running back needy teams. Check that out. And then who's gonna win overall? I got
Yeah, I also agree with Marcus winning. I actually think Matt Stafford will have a decent game, maybe not as good as Herbert. Um, Running backs I have to Marcus, wide receivers Marcus, flex Marcus. Tight end marginally goes to Vin. I like Zach Ertz in this Arizona offense. They do target the tight end a lot. Whereas Fant's production may go down with Judy coming in. Um, Looks like Marcus, it's 50-50 with a kicker for Marcus. So um, if there's a change that I would make if I were either GM, is that if I was Vin, I would drop Allen Robinson, right? So that's the only change. Not a play move, but just a drop. Like I'm not gonna keep him, and he's just gonna take up a roster spot on someone else's roster because that guy ain't it, right?
It's not like
So
he's in it. The Chicago Bears office ain't in
yeah,
it. So there's that.
yeah, and his targets aren't even. They've been like hovering around the 7, 4, 5, 6, 7 area. So, you don't really like to see that. So Marcus wins pretty easily. Hopping into our next matchup, we have Nick versus Ty. Royce, why don't you hit us off?
Yeah. So quarterback goes to Nick. Running backs go to Ty. Wide receivers Nick and tight end Nick with that Robert Tanyan pickup. I think it'll come down to for Nick Robert Tanyan going off. He is going against a tough Arizona defense, but yeah, I think with like Aaron Rodgers out of options, Tanya's gonna get a lot of targets. Whether or not he turns those targets into receptions and plays is up in the air. And for Ty, I think the biggest thing for him is needing Keenan Allen to get back in the game because Mike Williams has been the target hog and the touchdown like target during this time. So if Keenan Allen can get like a touchdown against New England, I think he'll be in good shape. I mean, what Nick needs to do is if Saquon is healthy, obviously play him. That'll maybe tip the scales a little bit more. But overall, I do have Nick winning because his wide receiver stack looks pretty good, and I think that'll give him a really good ceiling. I mean, it's carried him really well so far, so I think this week it'll be the same.
Okay, David, you want to continue to build off that?
Yeah.
Any differences? Any different point of view?
No, pretty much. Actually, I don't think Tanyan would do that well against Arizona. I think it'd be more of a Randall Cobb type of game. So that's the only difference I have. But I pretty much echoing what you guys think. I do think the Bengals D pickup was pretty good, and it might come down to that at the end.
True.
But that's considering Keenan Allen pops off and Sam Darnold doesn't like lay an egg again. So I have it pretty close with Bengals D moving the needle a little bit, but that's considering Ty's team like performing how they should perform.
Okay.
What about you?
I agree with everything. I think Nick needs his running backs to kind of pop off. They haven't been too well, and Ty needs his wide receivers. Week 1, he had a great week 1, but that's because Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper went off, so he kind of needs that kind of production again. It's kind of been the opposite receivers. It's been the Mike Williams show instead of the Keenan Allen show. It's been the CeeDee Lamb show instead of the Amari Cooper show. So he definitely needs some more points coming from them to pull this one off. I do have Nick winning. Next matchup, we got David versus Yi. Before our game of the week, we got David versus Yi. David can go last here. I got quarterback Yi, running back Yi.
Quarterback
Wide
to
receiver-
Yi.
Oh, excuse me, I messed it up.
Tannehill over.
Definitely quarterback. to
That's
David. I'm so
pretty.
sorry.
I've never heard that one before.
That was hot.
That's
That
my
was
bad.
that was
That's
a
a
bold take.
freezing hot take.
Woo! My bad. It's Josh Allen over Tannehill for sure. Running back Yi, wide receiver Yi, tight end to David. Now,
Oh
especially.
yeah. Oh shit.
What do you mean? You think Hunter Henry couldn't get it done?
But no, I had tight end to David for sure before. But yeah, and well, my comment on how this match was gonna shit. Well, that was way before the trade. But I think David made enough moves to get a stronger team. Travis Kelce could definitely carry you. I think it should be a bounce back game at home. You got and you don't have to start Brandon Bolden. You can start Elijah Mitchell, which has been producing and looks like a very good runner. On top of it, just like they've been blocking well for him. So hopefully that gives him enough points to net him this dub because I know David's in win now as we were talking about in this trade. For Yi, I think he might be able to play CD instead of Hubbard, or even Mike Williams, but Mike Williams has been hot, so I don't know. Maybe CD over Hubbard. Those are my thoughts, and it's going to go to Yi. Royce, any differences in opinion? Any other?
Yeah, I basically have the same quarterback. Positional matchups as you. I think that David's running backs now provide him a pretty good floor. And I mean, if Yi gets another dud from Mike Will, then that might hurt him a lot because right now he has a lot of really high ceiling plays, especially with Mike Williams. A change I would make is I would actually play CeeDee Lamb over Mike Williams this week, just because the Chargers are playing the Patriots and the Cowboys are playing Minnesota, and I feel like Minnesota and Dallas might have a bigger chance for a shootout, so CD might get the ball more. But at the end of the day, you could sleep well at night playing either of them. And yeah, I got Yi winning. Sorry, David.
So obviously I have myself winning.
Of course.
Before, if I said I was winning before the trade, you would have just thought I was delusional. But now,
True.
now you could see a path, right? Like before there was like no path. But now you're like, if the cards fall where they might fall, he could squeak it out. Right? So that's what I'm going for, and I'd say this is a pretty important week for me to win. But if I don't win, I think I might win next week just due to how my previous buys would have shaped out. And so I think I set myself in a decent position this week, and I think next week I set myself in a pretty good position. So the trade was for more of a long-term play. Maybe not so much against Ski, but there's a glimmer of hope. So the next matchup is Timmy versus Jonathan. 6-1 versus 6-1.
Yes, sir.
So I'll just start us off here. Quarterbacks I have going to a hot take. I have it going to Timmy. Right?
Wow.
Joe Burrow versus the Jets or Patrick Mahomes at home versus the. Actually, now that I have Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes is the no-brainer. Actually, let me change that real quickly. Now that I'm the Kelsey owner, go Patrick Mahomes. That guy is so dynamic. Running backs, I have Jonathan. Wide receivers, I have Jonathan. Just because Devontae is out and he's putting in
Yeah.
MVS instead.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
Oh, I wrote Tyreek.
I didn't
I
copy
don't
you because of it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tight ends, I have going to Mike Gesicki. Like he's just been on fire lately. So Hawkinson, I don't know what's going on with him. He started out pretty hot, but he's kind of been fizzling out. I guess at the beginning of the year, it was kind of an aberration. I don't know what's going on with him. But the flex, I have also going to Jonathan because I just think Lockett has a higher upside than Alex Collins. Is there something it might come down to this week? It's the MVS plug and play. He could give you 0, but he could also give you maybe 15. So it really depends on that. If there's a change I might make, I might play Waddle over Lockett just for the floor. I don't think Jonathan needs the ceiling this week. But all in all, I think Jonathan wins this one pretty easily. I might add to me.
Oh.
Royce, go ahead.
Yeah. So quarterbacks, I have Jonathan. Running backs, I have Jonathan. Wide receivers, I have Jonathan with Devontae out for Timmy. And for tight ends, I have Timmy with Mike Gesicki being pretty damn good right now. So for what the positions are going to go down to, I think if MVS can get a lot of targets again and convert them into good plays, then I think Timmy won't miss Devontae too much. And then for Jonathan, if he's playing Lockett, then Lockett needs to do well with Geno Smith, but it hasn't been the case so far. If there's anything I would change, it would be Waddle instead of Lockett, because Waddle has the better floor right now, and Lockett might not be performing because of Geno Smith playing. And for Timmy, the Alex Collins play is pretty good, but I think I would actually play Melvin Gordon for the floor. He consistently gets like 8 to 10 usually, so I feel like Melvin Gordon if you're feeling safe, Alex Collins if you're feeling a little brave. And yeah, I have Jonathan winning though.
Okay.
I agree with Royce's takes. The only thing I thought was the tight end push. I agree that it's going to come down to MVS. I think Gainwell needs to show off too. Other than that, I agree with the Waddle play instead of Lockett. And yeah, I got Jonathan winning. That's it.
Yeah, so unanimous Jonathan this week. Unanimous Nick, unanimous Marcus, unanimous James.
We're pretty chalk here. Chalk here. Besides Dave and I having ourselves, it's pretty chalk across the board.
Okay. Well, good luck everybody this week. Anything else you want to say to anybody?
That was a spicy show. Thank you for our
Yeah,
first
that was a spicy
on-show
show. First ever. So we'll see. Only time will tell, right? It was a pleasure to. We finally made it happen, Chris.
Dude,
It's been a long
Dude
time
and I
going.
have, yeah, we've been like, all right, hey, we'll come back to it next. We can do it. Come back to it next. Here we are. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us now. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me.
Not me. All right. Well, good luck,
Royce, any
everybody.
comments? You good?
I'm good, dude. You're going down this week, Chris.
All right, we'll put a shot bet on that.
All right, shot bet, yeah.
We'll put a shot bet in the game. We had another shot bet on something, right? We'll talk about it. All right.
Oh, it was the Kelsey versus the Pitts bet.
It's not even worth anymore.
That's true.
I ain't playing him head to
What
head.
about the Kelsey or the Hunter Henry versus Pitts?
Yeah, you want to shot bet
There's
that?
a 2-to-1 payout.
2-to-1 payout. 2-to-1 payout. Yeah.
For what?
We'll do that.
Pitts versus
Hunter Henry
Hunter.
versus Pitts.
Oh my God, no, I'm good, dude.
All right. All right. Peace out, everybody. Good luck.
Peace out, everyone.
Later, guys. Thanks for tuning in.